All right, everybody, what does Gemini need to know right now? Let's see what's going on for you guys. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Feel free to swap around the energies. As always, I could be talking to a cross watcher. So, Gemini, what is going on for you? This is a weekly reading. Whenever you're drawn to these weekly readings, if you're drawn to the title, they can be a bit timeless. I've noticed that. I have people watching some readings from a year ago going, man, that was for me. So if you feel pulled, there's a message in here for you. All right, let's see where we're going for Gemini. Gemini, please. What do you need to know right now? The first thing is home. So there's something here for Geminis about maybe changing their home or making their home work better for them. We are entering a new moon in Sagittarius, which is your opposite sign, okay? And that is a very external kind of energy. It's an optimistic and it's a hopeful energy, which is lovely. Gemini, you might be caring more about the details of how your daily living is rather than kind of like looking out to the universe right now. But when we have new moons, it's time to really plant a seed of intention for the future. So your home could be the focus, right? I want a peaceful place. I want something that is going to be meaningful to me. So some of you could be getting rid of a ton of clutter, purging. Some of you could be moving. Some of you could be deciding where your home is going to be. Sagittarians, as a Sagittarian sun sign right here and a Gemini moon, Sag, I make my home wherever I go. I've moved a lot of times in my life, but Gemini is about the details of the home. So let's make it comfortable for ourselves. So that could be showing up for you right now. Oh, truth. Okay, so Sag and Geminis are fairly at one about this. If you lie to a Sag, definitely a Gemini, then you're just done. So there's something here about the truth that you're seeking for yourself, some kind of truth about your own process, your own life, or some kind of truth in dealing with a relationship. You might be looking for a little more information from another person. You might be really wanting someone to reach out to you and tell you what's going on or tell you the truth. And I feel like that comes from a heartfelt place of, I really would like to know about you or about what's going on with you. I'm wondering if you're okay. Like if you haven't heard from somebody for a while, that can be something that's showing up for you. And also, not just surface truth, but this is kind of deep truth for me. Okay, so it's like, don't just tell me like, oh, I was really busy at work. I want to know what's going on in here, right? In your heart, not just the logistical details. And oh, look at this. And then the new moon showing up again in your reading. It just showed up in Pisces too. I was talking about the new moon in Sagittarius, and new moons are always a great time to plant the seeds of intention for the future. And so this can be about planting the seeds of intention in a relationship. Like, there might be something that someone was keeping from you, or this has been a little bit of a history of not telling the truth or something like that. And I think you need to lay down the law a little bit about that. If I'm going to have a peaceful home life, if I'm going to have a peaceful time with you, then I really need to know what's going on. So let's keep moving here. I'm going to look at what's going on with your work and your romance life. So let's see what's going on underneath the deck. The underneath of the deck is things that are happening or situations that are going on that you're not seeing, or things that are happening subconsciously for you. So we'll look at all different facets of your life and get information for what you really need to know right now. Okay, so underneath, let's see, hold on. All right, so underneath is this King of Pentacles. Beautiful energy about financial freedom. Some of you don't see it coming, but you're going to have either an inheritance or some kind of big windfall with your work. Some of you could be becoming the boss, starting a business that's going to really work well. Some of you can be in some way, shape, or form getting a major new account, a major new client, opening up a part of your business to a whole new way of doing things. I really like that. The Empress is the birthing energy, so I can see that. Some of you are creating a stable home life. Okay, so back to this home thing. Some of you really want to create a stable home life built around truth. And This is the new decision that you're making. It's like happiness or bust. Like, I'm not going to deal with any, lying liars and the lies they tell. I'm not dealing with that. Uh-oh, 7 of Swords and the Page of Swords and the 9 of Swords. So apparently that message was not received by another person or by a situation, by a person in your life. And someone's going to tattle. Okay? Like, I feel like you think you have it all figured out here. And there's some real stuff going on that either that person is not telling you about. So they could, if you ask for a full accounting, if you ask for truth and they give you the top 2 layers, that person may think that that's all that's necessary, or you're on a need to know basis kind of thing. Especially if it's a one-to-one relationship, if it's an intimate relationship. They may be dealing with other areas of their life and they don't have the same, comes Gemini, your communication. So you go deep with this topic. And I just feel like other people may not be like you as it relates to truth. So you might have to school this person a little bit about, when I ask for the truth, this is what I mean. Okay? Instead of just asking for truth, this person decides what truth to tell you. I think you have to demonstrate a little bit. I also do think that things get nice and solid, okay? And then life starts to happen again. And you're going the direction of your happiness. You're like, woohoo, this is really awesome. And then there's something that crops up. A message comes through of deceit, okay? And this is like, oh my God, what are you talking about? Why is this happening? Now, from a positive perspective, since we are in the energy of the Sag, new moon, Sagittarian is all about optimism, like giving people the benefit of the doubt and things like that. I'm going to spin this a little bit around and say, there can be a lot of things going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. But I also feel like because the sun is here, because you're choosing your happiness, I feel like somebody is not telling you a truth because they don't think it impacts you. It's not that they're lying to you necessarily. It's that they're not revealing everything. And you may think that that's the same thing, that they're lying, right? But I kind of get the feeling that, let's see, let me hold on, one more thing. 8 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. Okay, so there's something here. This is the underneath of the deck still. There's something here about shame. Okay, so 5 of Pentacles. This person might not be telling you the whole truth because they're ashamed of what's going on in their life. Maybe they got, fired from work, or maybe they have an issue with money or something like that. So they're not telling you the whole truth. And I think you shouldn't take it personally, depending on what the truth that comes out is. Okay, I think it's sort of like, if you react in a punishing kind of way about a person's behavior, they're going to be, like terrified into, okay, I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what not to tell them. Like that's not constructive. Okay. It's destructive. So you might just want to use, examples from your own communication. You might be instead like really rewarding behavior of trying to understand what you mean, and things like that, instead of punishing somebody who, may have had let's just say a glancing relationship with the truth in the past. They could have been somebody who was dealing with a control freak. And so if you start doing that, if you start kind of rummaging through, especially if you're not in a committed relationship, that's really going to have a destructive effect. Okay. But I think you have to demonstrate your own belief in why truth is so important in relationships and show what that looks like to you. Okay. Because there's such a thing as privacy. All right. There's such a thing as that. And if you have a 100% sunshine rule in your relationship, that everything is fair game, that I need to know every single thing that happens, and it's coming from a place of fear, that is going to transmit to that person that you don't trust them. And if you're trying to build trust, that's a problematic energetic stance. So you're wanting to build trust from a place of hope, of joy, of healed energy around lying liars and the lies who tell them. If you've attracted another person who has a glancing relationship with the truth, that might be a red flag. Okay? So it's all in how you handle it. This is something for you to learn, Gemini. Okay? So you're showing up as, oh, I love this. You're showing up as the star, which is healed energy around maybe what I'm talking about, right? Around the truth, or around creating something that is, creating a situation that is simpatico, that, like you both kind of have the same expectation. The thing that will destroy relationships every single time is unspoken expectation. If you believe that somebody should behave in a certain way, you should tell them that. Having a silent expectation and then getting angry is a little manipulative and super unfair. Okay? Even if you think like, well, this person should know it's not okay to go to lunch with their ex, or they should know this. Not everybody knows everything. Not everybody was really taught everything. And so if this is an early in the relationship and you wanting to build something, there's a difference between shady vibe and someone who kind of is just like a little bit clueless. All right. So you can decide whether you want to get involved with someone who's a little bit clueless. If they have a good heart, it might be worth your time. Okay. So the situation is the Three of Pentacles. What do you want to build? Three of Pentacles is about building your future. So if you think this person has the potential, right? Either they're the Empress or they're the King of Pentacles. If you think they have real potential, but they have a blind spot, or they have a shadow aspect about themselves, or they have an old relationship that they haven't healed from yet, especially around the truth, then this is something to really get into and just talk about your expectations, right? Like, some people want a detailed dossier of like every single thing I did all day long. Other people just give me the last sentence. Just give me the summary, right? Like I want the executive summary. I don't need to know. And whatever kind of structures or rules or expectations you lay out come from a healed place, not from a fear place or a jealous place or a lack of self-awareness, or it's my ex. The worst thing I think you could do in this instance is, well, my ex was a liar. And so I'm going to I'm going to sort of project everything that person did on you. And you've got to pay for the sins of the previous person. That's not really fair. And if you're attracting another person who has a similar issue, pay attention. Red flags. That's what a red flag is. Okay. So the opportunity here is Three of Cups. The opportunity is for some real celebration. I like that. Let's see where this is going. Two of Pentacles, King of Cups, Three of Wands, and the outcome is the Temperance card. So we're getting a lot of Sag energy here, and the Sag new moon energy about being optimistic and being expansive. Sagittarius is also ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is husband or spouse, wife, spouse. So if you're looking at this person and trying to decide, is this person worthy of my time and effort? The King of Cups is showing up here, and also the Three of Wands. This is the card of expectations. I also want to point out something else to you. Three of Wands, Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles, Three. Does this person have an ex that is still in their life? Okay. If this person isn't cheating, which I don't like that Seven of Swords even more now, but if that person isn't completely committed in this relationship, I think you have a right to understand how much they expect their ex is going to play a role in their life. If they have children together, that ex is going to be around. That ex, are they co-parenting? Is that what the conversations are about? Is what's the story? What happened? What do I need to know about what happened in that relationship? I think a full vetting of those kinds of experiences is worth it. Like, there's a lot of people who say to you, like, okay, don't say, well, you don't do this on the first date, but like, if you're starting to move towards some kind of commitment and you don't want to continually talk about your exes all the time. However, I do think if we are talking about creating a home, the truth about experiences past, so that you are not going to be haunted by this, the truth about experiences past, so that if a certain pattern arises again, you'll know about it. I think this is a healthy way to communicate in the beginning of a relationship, not on the first date, not on the third date. Wait until you think this is starting to gel, that this person is starting to be more a part of your life, that you now maybe they've met your best friend, or they've met your roommate, or they've met your sister, or they've met somebody in your personal life. They're asking you to go places where you're meeting their friends. That's an indicator that they're starting to integrate you into their life. If that's happening, I think that's a good time to sort of talk about what happened. Okay, especially if someone's divorced, especially if it's recent, within the last year, especially, because that person might need a lot of healing energy. You might have this experience now if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're actually married, or this is down the road a piece, and you didn't do this. This could be showing up in the relationship that says, I know we didn't talk about this before, but I'm feeling like I'd really like our relationship to go to the next level. And I don't mean like, well, it could be like dating to moving in together, moving into getting married. It can be like a physical shift, or it can just be a deepening of trust. And to deepen the trust, there needs to be an exchange of values and information around what does that mean? What does that look like? What have my experiences been with my exes? What have my experiences, what do I believe? Because sometimes when we go, if someone has gone through a tough relationship with a controlling person, they have a lot of personal opinions about whether that was bad or good or toxic or indifferent, or they might have created some coping mechanisms to deal with someone who wants the truth all the time. Okay. And they could have a habit of losing their phone. They could have whatever it is. It could be a subconscious habit too, that they're not aware of, that they're like, well, my ex was always trying to look at my phone, so I was constantly losing my phone. Or I don't even know why that's coming through, but that's definitely coming through. So what's being asked of you here is pay attention to the other relationships in this person's life. And I think this also has a relationship to you in terms of your creation of your future life. What do I want to create? What does it want? What does it feel like? Because now in this new moon in Sagittarius, let's expand. Let's plant the seeds of something that's really fantastic. And I'm not going to try to jam someone into a box. I'm not going to try to take a person and have a vision of who they are that isn't really in relationship to who they really are, and try to retrofit them into another person. I really want to see who I'm dealing with. Now, in the new moon, right? You can't see anything. It's dark. And so we've got to probe. We've got to ask questions. And Gemini, you are awesome at this. All right. So I feel like there's a real opportunity for a deepening of a relationship or taking something to the next level. I feel like some of you are also really looking to the future of what you want to create in your life. What do you want to build? And it's like, I want to build happy. I want to build joyful. I want to build something that I love. And I really mean that. Like every day you wait. I mean, there's no way into each life a little rain must fall. But consciously creating something that is magical, special, enjoyable, fun, interesting, add whatever adjective you want. If you're purposefully creating a life then there needs to be methodical. And Gemini, I bet you resonate with this a little bit, because Geminis are in general, Geminis are very much about, how does this work? How is this going to work? I want to know the detail of that. And I want to create something that's going to work for me. Okay, this could flow over into your work too. So in the extended, I'll look a little bit more deeply into money and work, since I didn't really talk about that too much. I will pull cards for each zodiac sign, so you can see who you're dealing with and what's going on with them. Those are all going to be Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So take it however it resonates, and then we'll get a sense from the universe of advice for you. All right. So if you want to continue on, there's a link below. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.